Hey guys, thanks for tuning in for another episode of the Detour Live. I'm your host, Dan Jones, joined as always, four-time national road champion from Australia. On the ground, Johnny Trevorrow. And geez, there was a big build-up for stage number 19 in regards particularly for the GC. There's only 3 seconds that separates Carapaz and Aussie Jai Hindley. And if it is set up for an epic showdown this weekend.
It certainly is. Yeah, today didn't produce the big clash that many predicted, but an interesting bike race. Beautiful day, but tomorrow is going to be an epic Dolomites day. It is, I just looked at the weather report, 100% chance of rain. It's going to rain all day.
No.
Absolute freezing rain in the Dolomites. It's going to be a monster day.
Well, then, talking about physics, does that come down to who's got the most meat on the stick? Like, Jai's, they're all lean bike riders, but the bad weather can affect certain riders differently. I remember George Bennett at the Giro last year really struggled, but will it make a difference?
Well, it will. I'm not sure who goes to better. I mean, Carapaz comes from Ecuador, and he's used to really warm weather, but he's also comes from high altitude. So this is the highest point in the Giro tomorrow or today for you guys. So, look, you can debate all of these things. They're all as skinny as none of them have got any meat on the bone, mate.
Well, what we normally do is we dissect the race a fair bit before we play your interviews pre-start. I like how we get to stage 19 when we go, no, there's probably a better way. So why don't we play all your interviews you did before the start, because there's a bit to unpack.
And we can see how they predicted. Yes, good idea.
That's it.
Yeah, by Sunday we'll have this worked out, mate.
I reckon. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's chip away at it. But anyway, nonetheless, here's all the interviews if you had before the start of stage 19.
So, Matty White, 3 tough days to go, or 2 really tough days of the time trial. But today's stage is an interesting one. We go into Slovenia.
It is. It's a short. It's going to be a pretty intense day. We've got a lot of tailwind coming off the ocean there, rolling terrain until we get to a couple of Cat 3 climbs, but the doozy is the Cat 1 today. It's probably up there with one of the hardest climbs of this Giro d'Italia, 10 kilometres at 10%, but with a 1 kilometre descent in the middle. So you're looking at percentages of more like 11 and 12%. And it will be very, very selective. It's stage 19 of the race, and there's a lot of tired legs out there, especially with the way these guys have been racing for 19 days. And then we descend back over into Italy. Very technical descent, which is not easy as well. There's lots of ramps in that descent. Little valley floor, and then a 7K uncategorised climb to the finish. Now, this climb that's uncategorised will probably be a Cat 2 in most races on the calendar. It's tough, and with the Giro being so close on time gaps, it'll be very interesting to see the tactics of Bora, and I'm pretty sure that Ineos would be happy with a break to stay away and take all the time bonuses out of the equation.
Yeah, we spoke to a couple of people, and the general feeling seems to be there'll be 2 races today, a break that could stay away and a really interesting finale for GC.
That's one option, but the other option is if it takes an hour for that break to form, you're only 1 hour away from the bottom of the climb. So you can usually use your big boys to nullify that gap straight away. And, we're running out of there's a lot of teams who haven't won stages here, and you never know, people make crazy decisions out of desperation, don't they? So one thing's guaranteed, it's going to be an aggressive start, and with the weather conditions that we've got, another hot day, it's going to be some exciting racing for sure.
Thanks, Matty.
Always, mate.
Okay, just 3 days to go in a Grand Tour, and it's pretty tough at any time, but we've got with me Lucas Hamilton, who at the end of the stage yesterday, you ended up having to do a trip to the dentist.
Yeah, I crashed out of a race about a month before the Giro. Damaged some of the front pearlers, and it was always going to be a risk that it'd start playing up mid-race, and it's sort of after the last rest day started to get a bit sore, and got to a point yesterday where I had to go see the dentist.
What did they do?
I won't go into the details. I'll save everyone but it's I don't know about most people, but I thoroughly don't enjoy going to the dentist. So it was not a great hour or so, but hopefully in the next couple of days, the pain starts to ease up a bit. So yeah, it's never a comfortable thing, but it is what it is.
Now, it's going to be painful enough today anyway. We've got the first of 2 really tough days with mountain finish.
Yeah, exactly. I think we've got 2 pretty solid days coming up, but yeah, it's sort of when you get to this part of the greenie, you can see the light at the end of the tunnel a bit. So yeah, I think the boys are ready to go, and we'll try and go up the road or whatever it is. The weather's nice still, nice and hot, so no complaints.
That's your plan, try and get into a break?
Yeah, I'll see how I'm feeling. The last few days I've been struggling a bit. Obviously, the tooth has knocked me around a bit. So yeah, if I feel okay, then for sure I try. But yeah, we'll just play by ear.
Good luck, Lucas, mate.
Cheers. Thank you.
Okay, 3 big days to go, and of course, Jai Hindley, 3 seconds off the lead. And with me, we've got an Aussie who's in charge of everything media with Bora Hansgrohe, Steph Constant. Now, you've been chief videographer, camera person, media person, social media, but they've sent the big guns in for the last weekend.
They have. We're really excited. We've got a videographer with us, and we've got Brian, our photographer. So to help me out a little bit, because when we realised it was getting serious, we thought, bring in the big guns. Why not?
Well, I thought it was getting serious about 2.5 weeks ago, but anyway. So I've noticed you're getting more and more stressed over the last few days. How's those stress levels now?
It's good, actually. I think, like, with Jai, he's a good leader. So he's pretty calm, and everyone around him feeds off that. And I think it's really good for the morale of the team. The morale is high, everyone is feeling good. So, and it's also for the staff as well, I think. So
today, of course, the next 2 days are very important, as is the time trial, so yes. The next 3 days. What do you think will happen today?
Can't tell you. It's secret. It's secret. It's secret tactics. You'll have to wait and see.
Just quickly to fill the people in back in Oz, you're a Sydney girl.
Yeah.
I heard you were doing your degree and fell in love with watching the Tour de France on SBS.
That is true. I was doing my law degree and a PhD, so there's a lot of late nights. And being in Australia, the only time to watch the Tour de France is late at night, after 12 o'clock. So, one day I switched on the television and I saw cycling, what's this? And I sort of thought, okay, got into it, watched a bit more, and I said, I like this. This is special. So then tried everything I could to get to Europe, and then here I am. At the Giro, with a guy in second place.
Exactly. And you speak very fluent German. You were telling me your mum is German, but you never learnt German from her.
No, we didn't speak it at home, so I had to learn it at university. So I did another degree at the same time as my law degree, which was a languages degree, just for fun, why not? And I did French, German and Spanish. And then I did a PhD in German literature. Wow. So prepared me well for this.
It has, yes. Well, it makes me feel terrible. But anyway, look, Steph, you've been an absolute legend for us on the Giro so far. You've helped us heaps, and we're all, of course, wishing Jai the very best for today.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Hey. Good morning, mate. So, firstly, how'd you sleep last night?
Oh, yeah, pretty good. It was pretty hard day in the end, so I was pretty tired actually. But yeah, stressful finish, but yeah, in the end all good.
Yeah, so of course you had that flat and had to change the wheel inside the last 3K. What if it had been just outside the last 3K? What would you just change bikes with a teammate?
Yeah, I think in that situation it's quicker to change bikes. But yeah, fortunately it was inside 3K to go, but yeah, actually it was a really hard and technical circuit yesterday. So yeah, actually I didn't know it was inside 3K to go. It was, yeah, you know what I mean. I was just fully focused on the race. So yeah, for a moment I was really panicking for a bit. But yeah, like I said, in the end it was pretty lucky that it was inside 3K.
And they all got it wrong. The sprinters teams didn't manage to pull them, but a great effort by the breakaway to hold them off.
Yeah, for sure. I think they rode pretty smart, and it was also a really strong group of guys, and I think they were working pretty well. I mean, it's been a pretty common theme of the race, like breakaway holding off. So it could also be a good day for the break again, and I think should expect a big fight and a big group to go up the road again today. But it'll be interesting because it's a flatter start, so probably not a big bunch of climbers, probably like a real mix of guys going up the road. So
yeah, it's going to be a race in two. There's going to be a race for the stage, but also a big race for GC, you would think, today.
Yeah, for sure. And the first 60k is pretty flat, and then you actually do quite a lot of climbing in the second half. So I think it'll be a very hard stage, and this second last climb I think will be really tough. Also with the tricky descent, I think it'll be a pretty select bunch at the bottom, to be honest. And then, on paper this last climb isn't super hard, but at the end of 3 weeks of racing and at the end of today, I think it'll be a pretty hard finish.
Well, good luck today, mate. We'll be up the road. I'm doing bottles for the opposition for Buying Exchange, but if you need one, mate, I'll be there.
Appreciate it. Thanks. And thanks for all the support back home again, guys. It's been really nice. Really appreciate it.
So great package of interviews there, Iffy, and he is calm, Jai. And as Stephanie, was another great insight there from the press officer that feeds off the other riders, and if you've got a calm leader, geez, nothing better than when you're only 3 seconds off, but he winning the thing.
Yeah, no, he's just a super young man, and very relaxed. It'd just be wonderful if he can pull this off. It's going to be, today for you guys, tomorrow for us is going to be something else. I would be very, very surprised if this is still only 3 seconds coming to the last stage in Verona on Sunday. I will be very surprised. I think tomorrow we'll produce something one way or the other. It's too hard a day after too hard a tour for them just to finish together.
No. What would you do? Say you're the DS at Bora. What would you be telling Jai? You're a man of tactics, Iffy.
Well, look, it's going to be how he feels. If he's feeling okay, they're going to have a go. They had a go today on the climb. The big one in Slovenia. And they put the pressure on because Richie Porte. We haven't mentioned Porte.
So this is the profile for stage 19. If you're watching on YouTube, the Cat 1 was at 136k of 178k course.
Yeah,
that was the one that Whitey was talking about pre-start.
Yeah, in Slovenia, and it was So they had a bit of a bash, and Richie Porte had to pull out with stomach bug, so that left Ineos a man down, their main man down, the support man. So they took it on, but when nothing really happened, they eased off after that. But look, tomorrow is a different story, and it's going to be cold, wet, just a Dolomites, day. I can, even though it's a long while ago, the Giro I rode in the Dolomites, we had one really bad day. We had pretty good weather like this, most of that Giro, but there was one terrible day in the Dolomites. Freezing cold, and they're going to get to tomorrow. So it's going to be a day, but there is no way either of them want to go into that time trial with that 3 seconds difference. A lot of people say Carapaz has just got the edge on him, but there's not much difference between him and the time trial. One of them will want to gain time on the other. So
have you got a 2 day weather forecast? Because if that's wet.
I have got a 2 days. So in Verona, it's not going to be a really hot day, but it looks it looks
dry.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's still a lot more to unpack because there was drama in the finale on the final corner. We'll unpack all of that, but we'll take a quick drinks break and we'll be back.
We might even though I've had to come up with a podcast, I missed out on dessert again. I've also missed out on the champagne because we're sharing with Jumbo. And so they're bringing out the Moe. No, not the Moe. I think it's it's one of them anyway.
Oh, the good
Tonight,
stuff.
and they're going to share it with our guy, with our group, and I'm up here talking with you. But that's fine.
All you do is complain, John. Getting sick of it. It's at that point of the race. Karen Jones says, great interview with Jai. And Patootie says, WWJD, what would Jai do indeed? So it's all building up, Iffy. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, there's plenty more to unpack on the detour.
Look at this bike. You think it's just a bike, right? But it's not. It's a bike. 374 people are looking at. This guy, this girl, them, all looking at it. People from here, there, and wherever this is. People that are looking for a bike. Or just a piece of it. Amateurs, semi-amateurs, and pro-amateurs. This guy wants this bike, but with this crank and these bars. This could be the perfect match. But not this one. This girl has a bike to sell, and thousands of people might purchase it. Eyes on Bikes help grow small businesses. His, hers, yours, and the latest data and insights help those businesses keep moving. We are the world's #1 bike marketplace, with over 500,000 products and 900 brands, where buyers and sellers are brought together in a place where a bike is never just a bike. Bike Exchange, where the world buys, sells, learns, and rides.
Feel more in every moment. The all-new Lexus NX.
Thanks again to Bike Exchange. Get down to bikeexchange.com.au for all your bike needs. And, of course, Lexus of Blackburn. Where else would you go if you need a new set of wheels, Iffy? And there's the photo. Blake Quick, Ruby Roseman Gannon from the Lexus of Blackburn Bay Crits at the start of the year.
Who did another great lead-out job today, and they've won again. Alex Manley has won her third stage, and they've won all 4 stages in the tour in Germany, in the Thurgen tour in Germany. So there's been 4 stages down, and they've won all 4.
Jeez, that's good going.
Not bad, is it?
You go on with a plan, you come away with that, and you go, well, nothing else to say. You smashed it.
Exactly.
And, of course, we always say support the companies of sports cycling. There's none bigger than Jayco. Jayco.com.au. They've got the 2022 new range of caravans and campers, and for all those needs, there's only one place to go, and that's why they're the industry leader, Iffy, because they're the best in the business.
Mate. That's exactly right. 45 years of experience and history, and just means that you get the best value for money. And you know that every second RV you see on the road is a Jayco.
Is a Jayco.
Yeah.
Now, what happened in the race today? There was drama in the finale. Who binned it? Because there was classic photos after the finish line. I mean, let's be honest, everyone was pissed.
Yes. Well, Andre Vendram of AG2R, that's him. Mm-hmm. He got shoved into the sort of corner. Look, they really don't. The guy who ran second, Mauro Schmidt, the Swiss who rides for Quick Step, he was filthy on the winner, Cohen Bowman, as you can see in there. Mm-hmm. And also Andre, the man who got pushed into the offshoot, and also Attila Volta. They were crook on Bowman. Bowman wasn't the problem. The problem was the course. You're having a tight left-hander 50 metres from the line. Well, what do you think's going to happen?
It's the drama of the Giro.
Yeah. That was ridiculous. That was the problem. I watched it a couple of times, and Bowman, he had trouble holding it up himself. Okay, he did squeeze it a bit because that was the corner. He moved at the right time. He made the move he should have made.
Yeah.
Schmidt was really dark because he feels he's faster and he would have won it, but could have, iffy. whatever. Yeah.
Would have, should have, could have. Jan Boardman says some great insights in these interviews John is doing, setting the bar high for you at the tour, Dan. Although I'm still sulking because John will not be there.
You never know, Jan. You never know. I've been getting requests from everywhere, so you never know.
Hey, you don't think you're going to be treading on my turf, mate?
Not your
I'll be
turf.
getting all the
Not your turf, mate. Yeah,
all right. I'm quite happy to go head to head with you, mate, for rich interviews. Let's go. Yeah, as we said at the top of the show, I mean, how big? I mean, Ineos obviously they're known for it, a crack team of domestiques, but how big is the loss of Richie Porte coming in these last 2 days?
Yeah, well, one day really. It's tomorrow, and he wasn't there today, of course. But it's Richie's been the last man. He's been the last man doing the attack, and yeah, there's no doubt that Carapaz is going to miss him. But it depends on just how strong Jai is. I mean, Jai's going to need to be really in really good form for tomorrow. They're all getting tired, but look, all three of them had a bash yesterday. You had Lander as well had a bit of an attack, as well as Carapaz. Jai probably had a little bit of a bash himself. The three of them, it was a bit like a bit of a tester, because it just wasn't hard enough, that final coming in. But you watch tomorrow, mate. It won't be like that. It'll be all out war tomorrow, and it's going to be on.
If you look at traditional tactics in races like this, on these epic sort of finales, teams often try and send one guy up the road and then get them to wait. Given that the weather's going to be horrible, and given that a lot of the GC teams are going to be checking moves, well, Ineos are going to be checking moves as well. Would you be trying to send someone up the road to wait? And then if you did, would you be sort of holding off until the bottom of that last climb, or would you have someone at the top of the Cat C and then try and gain some time?
I did a bit of research.
Risk it all and lose it all.
I did a research. The C is the SEMA copy. That is the highest pass in the Giro. That's what the C stands for.
Okay.
Just so
would you be just waiting for the last climb, or would you be?
No, it's an interesting one, because what it is, Ineos are the champions at that, of sending someone up and having them wait. I don't think any team's going to get sucked into that one this time. It's down to nitty gritty. There's no way that Bora are going to let a Ineos guy go just up the road, and the same goes for I mean, the ones who might be able to do it and get away with it, maybe Bahrain. They've got some good climbers in there, and because he's a bit over a minute down, they might let go a little bit, and Lander can get across. But I don't think it's going to make any difference. It's going to be whoever's got the most power out of those three guys up that last climb is going to win this Giro. This Giro will be decided on that last climb.
Well, I think it could potentially be decided of the 21 Ks of descending from the top of the copy down to the base of the final climb.
In the wet, could very well too. Old Shark comes back into the equation there. He's fourth. He might be a fair way down.
Well, this is the GC at the moment.
Yeah.
So the Shark's 5 minutes 53. What do you reckon? He'll just try and rip 5 minutes on the descent?
Well, he mightn't get 5 minutes, but I'll tell you what, he'll put pressure on everyone. If he's with them over the top of that C climb, as you call it, I can tell you they'll all be worried, because that's a big descent. It's a double whammy. I'm going to be doing bottles at that little bump after the C. You see that little climb where it climbs back up, which is at
144K.
At 144K, I'm handing out the bottles. And yeah.
What's the cutoff? Like, looking at the GC, you've said to Jai you'll give him a bottle. Would you give the Shark one?
No. You know what? anyone who comes up and needs a bottle, if they're in trouble, I'll give them a bottle. They're a bike rider. I'm not a bikie. I'll hand out a bottle if they come. They very rarely do, but every now and again, because they're desperate, they've missed out, they'll come over and you go. I gave one to, I think it might have been Dombrowski, actually, for Astana a few days ago. He just could see he wanted one, so bang, I handed him one. So that's what you do.
I didn't know that. I flicked Valverde for Walter one year. He was desperate for a bottle, and I was doing them for the Green Edge. It was the first time I did it. And he reached out, and I sort of panicked. And at the last minute, I lifted my hand up, so he didn't get it. And then he looked back at me and said something in Spanish. And then Quaddy said at the time, he goes, "What are you doing, man?" I go, "What? He doesn't ride for us." He goes, "Yeah, but if he wants a bottle, I'll give him a bottle." So we don't ride for us. I thought they were the rules. Looked like a prick. And I had to tell the sports director at Movistar, "Hey, could you pass on a message? I'm really sorry. I didn't know the rules." So I think it's a good motto. Just give anyone who wants a bottle, except for the shark.
Vazzy's just sending through photos of dessert just to upset me. I see that.
All right, well, we better let you go, mate. You've done
no.
job.
I want to talk about so we had today. We had Damien Howson and Lucas were in the main group as they come over the main climb. So they actually really rode well. Lucas Hamilton with his crook teeth and everything. So they really stepped up today. So, hopefully one of them can get in the move tomorrow. But I just don't think the break tomorrow is going to get very far. I think it'll be the GC boys. There's us climbing that climb in Slovenia. What was it called?
Good setup with the big screens at the finale there.
That was amazing. That was you remember about 4 or 5K from the top as well. And it was just packed. It was like up to Wes. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. All right, mate. Who's your predictions?
I'm going with Jai.
Yep. All chips in. Yep.
You need to. I mean, he's got to take time tomorrow to win this tour, and he knows it. So there you go.
Have you got similar feelings to, say, the Cadell years when we were at the tour and it was really tight with a couple of days to go? And have you got the Aussie Journo cap on now? Might even have to ditch the polo. Might have to see if you can get a Bora one. Just jump on the bandwagon.
Look, the 2 years he ran second were terrible years in that. I feel he could have won both of them, actually.
I remember the time trial 2008 when we were sitting in the press box and watching the TV.
Where's the bloody dog when you need it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
It was sort of really depressing. And depressing for Cadell because he deserved them. When you look back at history, we're not going to go into it now, but he deserved them. But he made up for it with an amazing win. So still the only Australian to win a Grand Tour. That could change this weekend.
Ooh. It's going to be big, folks. Make sure you tune in. I've got a big night as well because the Western United team are in the grand final. So I might be running on vapors, mate. But I'll be fronting up, and it's going to be an epic day of football.
We've got a big day tomorrow. When it finishes, we've got a 3-hour drive back to the hotel in Verona. So I might have trouble getting back for the detour. I might have to do it from the car. Like if we stretch it out, hold the phone up.
Mate, we always find a way. Just keep pumping out the good interviews pre-start, and that'll fill 10 minutes.
I'm going to get Cav tomorrow.
All right. YouTube.com/the Detour Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. Thanks for all your support. Iffy.
Yeah. I said, Bradley Wiggins go past, say, "G'day, you dingo." He was passing the motorbike today. "G'day, you mad dingo," or something like that.
And before we do go, big thanks to Mitchelton. You've always seen the Mitchelton logo in the corner of the detour. It's at the start of when we play the show. They've got a fantastic range of wines. We're going to bring up some photos tomorrow to get down, and we'll see how the Aboriginal Art Gallery is going, Iffy, and how much that 4-wheel drive's going for. I think the last reserve's
yes.
4.5 mil.
Oh, good.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you again tomorrow. And go Jai Hindley. Could be a historic day at the Giro. Tune in.
This is the winning